So it seems like, and we learned this as well from Secretary Hegseth, that the Iranians, or at least the IRGC navies, submarine force seems to have been destroyed, or at least neutralized. So I mean, in the past, those small submarines have been a concern. That was the whole purpose of their being there under the IRGC Navy in the Persian Gulf. And it also seems like the larger manned surface vessels are all out of service, neutralized, destroyed. So we're really down to it. It is, as you say, it's not what we have thought of before as the kind of maritime threat and naval threat to commercial shipping. So would you say, so it's the categories of, it's the cruise missiles, it's anti-ship cruise missiles that would be fired from closer in to the target. It's potentially land attack cruise missiles that might be fired from a further greater distance into the interior of the country. It's the drones of different kinds, and it's the mines. Are there any other threats to commercial shipping? Well, I should say, and also the unmanned surface vessels, potential. So the surface drones. Are there any threats really still out there that the joint forces have to think about, and in not just the Strait, but also in the rest of the Persian Gulf interior?
Absolutely, you know, one of the things that I think is important to keep in mind is we're focused on the Strait of Hormuz,
Mm.
but you really have to consider the entire Gulf, the sea lanes that are there, where an extraordinary number of merchant ships have now had to collect because they're not moving in and out of the Gulf at will. So you have a lot of targets, really, that should Iran want to go after them, you know, you have to consider that. So that even though people keep talking about the Strait, to me, the problem extends throughout the entire Gulf. Um, and again, you know, without having the intelligence and the target lists, there's little doubt in my mind that there's a great deal of effort that's going into tracking and following up and making sure that if we get indications of where some of these weapons may be employed from, that the ability that we have with the air superiority we enjoy to be able to go after them. And then, of course, I mean, you can look at the weapons and the targets, but the entire intelligence apparatus that's being brought to bear from overhead imagery to communications intercepts to cyber activity that's going on, all of that gets folded in a way that I would argue that no one does it as well as the U.S. So it's all being brought to bear. I'm glad you brought up the submarines because it was during my time that Iran began to acquire some of these smaller submarines, and uh, and I would assume that they were at the very top of the naval target list
Mhm.
because they are small. They're very hard to detect. The water conditions in the Gulf are challenging because of noise and just environmental conditions. And so, little doubt in my mind, they were at the top of the list.